Gay Criminal Minds. It's the best way to describe this book. It is already August. Time flies this year. I feel like every year I get older, time goes by faster. But since it is August, it is time for my July reading wrap-up. I read 21 books in the month of July, so I had a really good month. And I'm going to do this the same as Carly from the Pastel Bookshelf because I love this idea. She starts with the lowest rated books and goes up and up and up and up until you get to your best rated books of the month. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get into it. The book I rated 2 stars. It's fortunately my only 2 stars of the month is The Butcher and the Wren by Elena Urquhart. The conversations felt fake. I didn't like the characters. Some parts of the story were very unbelievable. So yeah, it was not for me. That's why I gave it a 2 stars. But I have to say, I did really like all the medical terminology and the going-ons of the morgue. She is a morgue worker herself. She is a forensic pathologist, something like that. But yeah, I really like that, so I have to give it that, but unfortunately I won't be continuing the series because this book just wasn't for me. Then I have a book that I rated 2.75 stars, and that's Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. This one started off really strong. It's about a woman, her name is Lena, and she's trying to figure out what happened to her twin sister. The police say that she committed suicide. Lena does not believe that, so she goes and tries to investigate it. What I did like about this book is that Lena has a blog and some of the chapters were blog posts. I really like that for the story, but it was missing something. I don't really know what. I mean, the sisters read like they were the same person, so it was hard to differentiate in which POV you see or which POV we're reading, because we get the POV of Cambry before she died and the POV of Lena after. That was sometimes a bit confusing, but in the end, it was missing something. So that's why I gave it a 2.75 stars. Let's go on to my 3-star ratings. And everything 3 stars or above, I consider 3 stars to be a decent rating. It means I did enjoy the book, but it could be a lot better. So everything from 3 stars on out, I did like. The first 3-star read is Dark by Ian Rob Wright. This is a sci-fi horror novella, and it's about a spaceship. All the crew of the spaceship are in hypersleep, and then all of a sudden some of them wake up. They don't know why, they don't know what's happening. The AI of the ship is not cooperating with them, and something is destroying the ship and they don't know what. That's all I'm gonna tell because it's a novella. It had 130 pages, I think. And yeah, it was a fun novella. I do think I would have liked it better if it was a longer book, when the characters would have been more fleshed out and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a fun read. The next book is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I rated this book 3.25 stars, and in it we follow a woman. Her name is Alicia, and one night out of the blue she killed her husband. She shot him in the face 5 times and stopped talking after. So after the trial, or during the trial, she was seen as insane, so she got committed to a psychiatric facility. And then we have a psychotherapist. His name is Theo, and ever since he heard the story of Alicia, he wanted to help her. So now he works in the same facility that she lives in, and he tries to help her however he can. I did like this book, but someone on Threads spoiled the ending for me, so I already knew what was going to happen, which really sucked please guys, never spoil books like that on the internet. I don't even care if the books are old or not. Just don't do it. But that definitely affected my rating, but also I didn't like any of the characters. They all sucked. So, yeah, I gave this book 3.25 stars. I think if you're newer to thrillers, you would really enjoy this, especially when the ending is not spoiled for you. The next 3-star book, and it was actually a 3.5 star, is The Red House by Ross Watkins. In this one, we follow Eve, and when Eve was little 20 years ago, her brother killed everyone in her family except for her, went to a friend's house to finish the video game he was working on, and then crashed his car. After he crashed his car, he was in a vegetative state and his grandmother was taking care of him. Eve tried not to have anything to do with him, but in this video game her brother made there is said to be a secret hidden level, and that the hidden level would reveal what happened that fateful night. I really, really enjoyed this book. First of all, because I'm also a gamer, so I loved that angle, but the mystery was very compelling. I have to say, in the middle of the book, the story dragged a bit. That could have been shorter, so that's why I gave it a 3.5 stars. But I think it was a very decent thriller, and I did like the video game aspect of it. Then I have a Frida McFadden book on the list. It's The Divorce. In this one, we follow two people, a man and a woman. They are going to divorce each other, and we don't know whose story is real, who we have to believe, who we can't believe. And in classic Frida, there are lots of twists and turns, a lot of which I did not see coming. And I just love her books as palette cleansers in between other books. And yet, that was what this book did for me, and that is why I chose it. So it was perfect. Then we have His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This book I also rated 3.5 stars. I actually had quite a lot of 3.5 stars this month. But in this one we follow Anna and Jack. They are divorced, and Anna is a journalist and Jack is a detective. There are some murders happening in their hometown, which seem to be connected to the both of them. So they are trying to figure that out. I really like this book. I really like the twists. I really like Alice Feeney's writing style. But Jack must be the dumbest detective that has ever graced a page, the earth. I don't care. He was so dumb. And he was supposed to be a seasoned detective. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but I think everyone who has read this book will know what I'm talking about. His decisions are so goddamn stupid. So yeah, I had to deduct half a star because else it would have been a 4 stars, but he just got me. I was so irritated by him that I had to deduct it. So 3.5 stars, but for the rest it was very well written. I really liked the twist. So if you love Alice Feeney's work, I think you will like this one as well. Then I read a slasher, Bleed In, Breathe Out by Brian Macaulay. And in this one, we follow Hannah. And a year ago, she went on a hiking trip with her fiance. He died. Nobody exactly knows what happened except for Hannah. She is really struggling. And her friend group gets invited to attend a very exclusive healing retreat. And Hannah's like, yeah, well, I'm feeling like shit. She is seeing a psychiatrist. She is mostly seeing him to get meds so she can drug herself out of her mind so she doesn't have to think about anything. But she's like, yeah, I'm ready to turn this leaf over. I'm going to this healing retreat. They go there and people start dying. And yeah, I really liked it. It was a very solid slasher. I did see the twist coming, but it didn't bother me as much because the kills were very, I want to say nice, but they are not nice, very unique. I like them. And yeah, if you like slashers, I think this is a very good one to read. I had a great time. And now we go to my 4-star reads. I read Ushers by Joe Hill. This is a novella of 29 pages, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's about a young man who escaped death twice in very weird situations, and he is finally ready to share his secrets how he did that. That's all I'm going to tell, but I really liked it. It was 29 pages, but there was so much story in those 29 pages, so I rated it 4 stars. And I don't usually rate novellas that high, especially when they're that short, but it was so good. So yeah, if you like a bit of weird, a bit sci-fi books, a little bit of horror as well, this is a very good one. I read an arc that was about sirens. I love sirens. This book is called Threnody by Cass E. Crow, and in it we follow Ezra. She survives a shipwreck and she washes ashore on an island that is plagued by sirens. She gets rescued by Archie, who is an inhabitant of the island, but she has no idea if she can trust him. I thought that this was a book about sirens. I had to read it, and I'm so glad I did. I really liked it. I love sirens actually so much that I have a tattoo of one, so I will put that on screen. But yeah, it was such a good book. I had a really good time. It comes out on October the 13th, so if this sounds appealing to you, put it on your TBR on Goodreads, and then when it comes out, you can read it and tell me what you thought about it. Then I read another novella, but this one was different than the other one because this one was First Tilt by Lucien Burr, and it was literally described as heated rivalry meets A Knight's Tale. It's heated knights. I loved it. It's about two rival knights in this lancing tournament that figure out that they actually kind of like each other, but also not. So yeah, it was super good. That's all I'm going to tell about it because it's a novella. It's over 100 pages, but still, and it's the first book in a series. It's actually a half book before the first book, and the first book will continue on with these characters. I can't wait to read that, but it's not out right now. But yeah, I really liked it. I mean, Heated Nights. Come on, guys. What more do you want? I also read another T. Kingfisher book this month. I absolutely love her books. I read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, and this is about Sam. She goes back home to her mom because she was going on this job. She subletted her room in her apartment with her roommates, and then the job fell through, so she's going to stay with her mom for a bit. But her mom seems off, and the house seems haunted. That's all I'm going to tell because T. Kingfisher's books, you can read the blurb, but it's going to be different than the blurb. It always is. I love it. I loved this book. It was a haunted house book, then it became so much more. And if you love T. Kingfisher, you should definitely read this. The next book is Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. In this one, we follow characters we previously met in Priory of the Orange Tree. These are 3 books. I think you can read them in whichever order you want. I started with the Priory of the Orange Tree, and I think I rather liked first reading the Priory of the Orange Tree and then Among the Burning Flowers, because Among the Burning Flowers is the backstory of 2 of the characters we meet in the Priory of the Orange Tree. And yeah, I really enjoyed this story. I really enjoyed learning more about those characters. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. The next book I rated 4.5 stars, and it's 1,000 Monstrous Forms by Saratoga Shaver. This is a sapphic Bluebeard retelling, and it's about Poppy, who moves in with her new wife in her mansion. Poppy has not been to this mansion before, and she, from the get-go, feels like this mansion is haunted, and her feelings about this only grow and grow and grow. She gets more anxious. Her wife is away at work or for work for a lot of the time. So yeah, it's a haunted house book. It has a very good gothic atmosphere. I really loved that. And the ghost story, yeah, it was so good. This book releases on September 15th. So if you would like to read a Sapphic Bluebeard retelling, A Thousand Monstrous Forms by Saratoga Shaver is definitely one to keep your eye on. And then we go to our 5 stars. And I actually had 7 5 stars this month. That is really, really good. The first 5 stars on here is Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. And in this one, we follow 2 friends. They decide to go caving together. One of them is really adventurous, the other one definitely isn't. When they get to the cave, there is this weird guy who tells that he works for the Forest Service and that there is something wrong with the bat population in the cave. They think he's weird but harmless and decide to go into the cave. And the deeper they go, they find out that he is actually following them. And the only way out is where he is. So they decide to go in deeper into this cave, which is very dangerous at certain points. And this dude is following them. This book was, my heart was in my throat for most of the time. I love Taylor Adams, his plot twists, because I did not see this coming. My jaw was on the floor, literally. So yeah, if you want to read a good thriller, this is definitely the one to go. The next 5 stars is Shadows So Cruel by Liv Sander. The first book is Feathers So Vicious, and it's a dark romance about a woman that has grown up very sheltered by her father. He is a king, a high lord, not a high lord as in an elf, but something, he is something very important. And he is battling against the raven shifters, and those are people that can turn into ravens, but they don't turn into one raven, they turn into 5 ravens. So I thought that was really cool because they turn into their own unkindness. So I'm not going to tell what the second book is about because then I would spoil the first book. But in the first book, the girl gets kidnapped by the raven shifters, and there are 2 very hot raven shifters that she starts to get feelings for. This is very dark. This is a very, very dark book. And please read the trigger warnings before going in. I don't really have any trigger warnings, so I usually don't, but if you do, please read them before you read this book, because this book is not for everyone, or this duology is not for everyone, but it was for me. I loved it, and hence the 5 stars. I also read 2 books by Carissa Broadbent, and I'm talking about them together because it's Daughter of No Worlds and Children of Fallen Gods, and that is the first and the second book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. And yeah, they were both 5 stars. I have no idea why I waited so long to read this trilogy. I'm currently reading the 3rd book. I'm buddy reading it with a friend I made in Australia through TikTok. This is a fantasy series about Tisana. Tisana is a slave and she is trying to buy her way out of being a slave, joining the orders. The orders are like a magical society. You have Solari and Faltane people, and they are the people that have magic. Tisana is part Faltane and part human. She wants to join the orders so she can help the other slaves escape, because she just wants to help them all because they are treated very poorly. And when she gets to the orders, they tell her she has to do an apprenticeship, and normally people do this apprenticeship when they are 12. Tisana is 21, so a bit old, and also all of the people that take apprentices are taken. They already have apprentices, but there is one option that they could try, and that option is Max Antarius Fairleone. And he doesn't want to help Tisana because he has his own ghosts. He doesn't want to have an apprentice, but Tisana slowly warms his heart. he decides to help her, and the story goes from there. I love these books. Like I said, I'm currently reading the third. I love that as well. The characters are so good, their development is so good, their mental health struggles are so good. It's just so good. I know I've said it like 5 times, but it is so good, else I would not be saying it. You have to be careful or mindful before going in, because Tisana is a slave, so there are a lot of trigger warnings. So be mindful of that before going in. But if you like fantasy, if you can handle trigger warnings, it's a fantasy romance, yeah, go read it. It's super, super good. Now I can talk about The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I read this for book club. It's a big book. It's over 800 pages, but it was so good. We followed different characters, so there are multiple POVs that makes it a bit difficult sometimes to wrap your head around, because it's a lot of story. So I usually am a fast reader. I did not read this book fast. It was impossible, because else I was missing too much, and I just needed time between reading to wrap my head around everything. But we follow Iyad, and she is a member of the Priory of the Orange Tree, and she is placed in the court of Sabran Berethnath, and she has to protect her. But Sabran doesn't know that she is a member of the Priory of the Orange Tree. So yeah, everything Iyad has to do has to be in secret. And we follow some other characters. They have their own stories. It's in a world where there are dragons, but half of the world thinks that the dragons, or at least part of the dragons, are good. You have 2 kinds of dragons. You have the water dragons and the fire dragons, to make it simple. And the water dragons are revered in half of the world. There are dragon riders there, and they see them as gods, and they see the fire dragons as bad. The other half of the world sees all dragons as bad and calls them worms. And this book the world is really extensive, because it's actually an entire world that has been built in this book. We follow people from different lands, from different continents. So you get everything about this world, and I loved it. If you hear something in the background, my cat is using their litter box. So yeah, just ignore it. I do. But it was a very good book. It's a high fantasy book. It has sapphic love interests in it. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. And yeah, I'm definitely going to read Day of Fallen Night. It's also a really big book, so I'm not going to pick it up right now, but I'm definitely will in the future. The next book is Gay Criminal Minds. It's the best way to describe this book, and I absolutely loved it. It's The Murder Between Us by Tal Bauer. It's an suspense romance. It's about 2 FBI agents that meet up in Vegas, or they meet each other in Vegas. They have a one-night stand, and then they never speak again. And all of a sudden, they are thrust into the same case. One of them is out of the closet, the other one is really in it. And while they are battling their feelings for each other and how they are going to do that, they are trying to catch a really, really psychopathic murderer. And yeah, I loved it. I loved the 2 main characters. They were perfect. But I also really loved the serial killer aspect and everything around that. So yeah, it was really good. I ordered the next book before I finished this one. That is how good this book was. So if you like if you like serial killer thrillers, if you like romance, yeah, I highly recommend this one. It was very good. And the last 5 stars of this month was The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am a huge fan of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies, but I had never read the books, so that had to change. I do have them on my bookshelves, but I found out that Andy Serkis, the voice of Gollum, is also the narrator for these audiobooks. So yeah, I had no choice. I had to listen to it, and my God, that man is so freaking talented. Insane. I loved it. I loved the story, but with Andy Serkis as the narrator, it feels like you have a whole cast. This man is so good at pulling off different voices and everything, and making characters actually sound like how they sounded in the movies. I mean, how does he do it? It's it's really a talent. So the narration by him really drove it out of the park. But yeah, this book was a 5 stars. I loved it. I'm currently listening to the second one, loving that as well. And yeah, that was my reading wrap up. 21 books, insane month, 7 5 stars. I love that. I love it when I have a lot of 5 stars because yeah, we want 5 stars, right? How many books did you guys read? What was your favorite read of this month? Please don't compare yourself to me. I'm insane for reading this many books, and I have a lot of free time. I work part-time. I have no partner. I have no kids, and I'm chronically ill, so I spend a lot more time on the couch than the average person, and I'm a fast reader, so please don't compare yourself to me. I'm insane, I know it. Please let me know what your favorite book of July was, because I'm always adding books to my TBR. I love it when it's never ending. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, that's it for today. I will see you in my next video.